Hello everyone, Jennifer here with Marrero Family Farm. If you're new to our channel, welcome. We're glad that you stopped by. We are a hobby farm, homestead. We have goats, cows, chickens, pigs, dogs, you name it. We have a little bit of everything. Today I'm gonna just talk to you guys a little bit about our Nigerian Dwarf goat breeding program and how we're going to change things a little bit from this year than we had from last year. So we have some new babies on the farm. We only have a total of 3 adult females at the moment. This is Jasper, and that one over there is Casper, and then Piper, the tan one, is the mom. The brown one is Ruby. The white and black one is Pebbles. Pebbles is pregnant. Actually, Ruby should be pregnant as well. But Pebbles is due at the end of this month to have her second baby. So this is going to be her second freshening or second kidding. If you're new to the goat world, that's what it's called. Female goats are called does as adults or doelings as babies or kids. Male goats are called bucks when they're adults or bucklings when they're kids. Here she is. She's gonna get stuck underneath the chair. Look at this. Trying to scratch herself on the chair and then got stuck on it. So Piper is the mom of these 2 adorable little boys. We will actually be keeping Jasper here. And Casper is going to go off to a new home when he finds his forever home. Now Ruby here, her son, we've decided to keep, and she's the feisty one. She does not like the dog. The rest of them are okay with both dogs, but she just does not like the dog. Ruby has, I believe, almost 4-month-old buck that we've decided that we're going to keep, and he is back there in the buck area. If you guys watched my last video, I kind of went through with the bucks and told you a little bit about them and who we're keeping and who we're thinking about keeping, but we've decided that we're going to be keeping Jasper and not Casper. So that's an update from the last video. And then I'm just going to kind of go over with you of who we're breeding to who. Look how they're all standing. How cute. Okay, so Pebbles, she was bred to the same buck that these 2 little bucklings came from. And we bred, this is the second time that we've bred her to Peter. Come here, Peter. So Peter is the white buck. That's back there. And that's Chubbs, our mini Juliana pig. No, I don't think he's mini, but he is a Juliana pig. And then that brown one is Ruby's buck. His name is Geo. And then the black one, he is new to the farm within the last few months or so, and his name is Zorro. So Peter is the father of the 2 bucklings, like I said, little Jasper and Casper, Piper's little boys. Pebbles is pregnant, and she's due at the end of January, so January 31st is her actual due date, and she is bred to Peter also. In the beginning of last year, she was bred to Peter as well, and we had this little guy here who is Mowgli, and Mowgli was so much fun and he was so cute, but we did not keep him because he is not registered, because Pebbles is a non-registered goat. Now Peter in the back is registered and Piper is registered, so her 2 little bucklings are also registered bucks. We are going to be keeping Jasper, and we're going to be selling his father, so Peter and Casper, are going to be sold, and we're going to be keeping Jasper, Zorro, and Geo. Now Zorro, the black buck, he is also registered and comes from really great genetics with milking background and also show quality background. Piper, the mother to Jasper and Casper, she is also registered with excellent show quality and milking lines as well. So that's why we've decided that we're going to be keeping her son Jasper, because we know that his mom, Piper, has excellent milking lines and show quality as well. So even though Ruby and Pebbles are not registered, they will be producing really good quality doelings when they have some female does. Now, when Ruby, hope you guys are all following along here because this is a lot of information, and I'll try to post some pictures to kind of let you guys know who's who in case you forget. But when Ruby gave birth to her babies, she had Geo, the buck that we're keeping, but she also had a doeling, and she went off to another home, and they had renamed her as Josie. So Josie was a little black doeling. She was super cute. She even had some moon spots on her, and like her mama, but she's not registered, and I don't want to take on any more non-registered does. So from here on out on the farm, we're going to be improving our breeding line as best as we can. Now, when it comes into investing in a breeding quality, a high quality goat, of course it's going to start getting more expensive. When we had purchased Piper, we paid a pretty good penny for her, but not as much as some of the really top quality does. So when we get to that point in our career with our homestead and our hobby farm, then we will increase probably to one of those lines maybe in the next year or two. But for right now, we are just going to increase the herd that we have by improving their genetics. That's why this time around Ruby is bred to Zorro. So like I said earlier, Zorro comes from excellent genetics, and we bred Ruby to him this time around. So even though, like I said, Ruby is not registered, she does come from really good genetic backgrounds with her grandmother and her grandfather, and also her father being registered, but her mom was not registered, so that's why we couldn't register Ruby. However, she does come from a really great lineage of goats. So anything that she produces, as long as we continue to improve the bucks that we have here on the farm, then their offsprings will produce hopefully good bucks and does. So Pebbles is probably, to be honest, one of our lowest quality goats that we have here on the farm. However, she is one of the sweetest goats that we have. She was the first goat that we purchased, and she's kind of sentimental to us. So I don't see us actually giving up on her. The reason why I say she's of lower quality is because her udder does not get very full. We're lucky if we get, and her, well, we'll see what happens this time around, because the last time she kidded was her first freshening. So they say that when it's their second and third and so on, their bags start to increase and get larger, and they start producing more milk. So we'll see how she does this time around, but by the looks of it, so far, I mean, what is it? Today I think is January, I want to say 11th. And she's not even really showing signs yet of having a bag. And I know that it normally doesn't pop until right before she has the kid, but she's not even really showing it's big at all. And I don't really believe she's having a false pregnancy, because I did feel something moving in there, but she's not very big. I'm gonna let you guys see her again. So, I mean, to look at her, she looks like she's pregnant. I mean, I would definitely say by looking at her that she's pregnant. But if you look, now sorry to give you the close-up on this, but if you look, if you can see, like, you can barely even see her teats down there. So, well, she's got a bunch of leaves stuck to her too, and she has a darker udder, so it's kind of hard to see. But she does not have much of an udder at all. An example, Ruby here. Ruby, our sweet girl. All of our girls are super sweet. Super, super sweet girls. Oh, Mr. Jealous. Mr. Jealous. So, Ruby here, I don't know if you can see that. If Piper will get her face out of the way here. Oh, now they all want to come in and block my view. So, Ruby, we're actually still milking Ruby. And even though her babies are about 4 months old, we're still getting milk from her. Ruby here is due on April 28th, which happens to be my son's birthday. Hopefully she's pregnant. We're not 100% sure. We haven't ultrasound her or anything like that. And then we would dry her up April, March. So February, probably towards the end of February. Very beginning of March, since she's due at the end of April. Yeah, so we still have a couple more months of milking her, as long as she continues to give us milk. Now, this is our first time milking Ruby. Ruby is 4 years old, so she's already kidded. I think this was her third time. No, this was her fourth time kidding. So this next time around will be her fifth time. And see, now if you look at Piper here, Piper has just an excellent udder. She is not even in full swing motion yet. Her babies are only 3 weeks old. So they are not in their prime until they're around 6 to 8 weeks old. Usually six weeks is when they start producing the most amount of milk. However, at 8 weeks, the babies will be weaned and no longer on mom. So she'll be giving us a lot more milk. As of right now, she's giving us 3 cups in the morning, and we're not milking her at night. Milking her once a day until the babies are 8 weeks old, and then we'll start milking her twice a day. And then Pebbles is already dried up. She gave, like I said, she gave us 2 cups twice a day. So obviously she was not giving us much milk at all. Hopefully the second time around we'll get a little bit more. We'll see. We haven't given up on her yet. But either way, it doesn't matter. She's staying with us for the long haul. Ruby gives us 2 cups in the morning, and then like a cup to a cup and a half in the evening. So she is slowing down on her milk production, even though we still have until the beginning of March to dry her up. So we'll see what happens with that. But she's still, in the beginning, she was giving us a really good amount of milk. So it could have been our fault also for maybe not feeding enough protein in the beginning. I realized that I was not giving enough protein, so I upped their protein amount, and it seems to really be helping. That's kind of it. We've decided that next year, obviously, Peter is not going to be around to breed Piper to. So next year, or at the end, I really should say at the end of this year, because we breed them twice a year. I know not everybody does that, but Nigerian dwarfs do go into heat all year round. So I know that like some bigger breed dairy goats and also meat goats, some of them only come into heat once a year. No problem with breeding them. Piper, we're going to be breeding to Geo next time around. Ruby is bred to Zorro, so her father of her babies is that little black one that's over there. And then next time around, we're going to be breeding Pebbles to either Geo or Zorro. Not 100% sure yet on that one either. And then we'll start breeding little Jasper here. But we'll get to that when we get there. I think Jasper and Pebbles over there would make some cute babies, but Jasper with this girl here would make some beautiful babies too. So it's a lot to keep up with and to remember, but luckily we only have 3 girls to deal with. Our long-term goal here on the farm is to have 5 breeding does, all with excellent milking, or genetics I should say, which will include milk and also show quality, and also to have 3 bucks, hopefully the bucks that we have, but we'll see what happens with their production. If they're only going to be, you know, giving us bucks, then we might switch them up with some more down the line. But we have a long ways to go before we get to that point. We'll give them a chance here on the farm, make sure that they're doing what we need them to do. I mean, it's a farm, so, you know, on a farm, sometimes you got to switch out animals, and you got to keep whatever is producing good quality animals. I mean, if that's what you're striving for on a farm, is to keep good quality animals, sometimes that just means that you have to get rid of the old and bring in some new. And if we have to do that, even with the girls that we have now, if they're not producing what we need them to produce, then we'll just kind of switch them out with some more. And like I said, we're still waiting on 2 more. That would total our amount that we would want here for does on the farm, and I'm excited to see what we end up getting. To me, my opinion of what I would like to do, I'm hoping my husband's on the same board as I am with that, but I would like to get 2 like really excellent dairy breeding, top quality, you know, just the best of the best, and just increase our herd that way. I think that would be so exciting and just so amazing. I watch so many really good goat YouTube channels like Weed 'em and Reap and Blue Dairy Cactus, and I think that what they're doing is amazing. They're always, you know, just improving their herd, and that's what I would like to do here as well. They're kind of like my inspiration guru goat people, so I follow them constantly. And if you guys want to know some more information on how to raise goats and just more information on like dairy and show quality goats, I highly suggest that you go check out their YouTube channel as well, because they have some really great information. And, you know, I'm still learning here, but as I go, I hope to further my education and learn more about these wonderful little Nigerian Dwarf Goats, because they're so much fun. They're so well behaved. I mean, right now, they are not even in a fence. They're just in my yard kind of hanging out and doing whatever. We have had a lot of rain, but we also had a snow day that lasted for 3 days as well. So the ground is really wet, and we have a natural stream that runs through the back of our yard, and it's kind of mucky and muddy back there, and they really don't like to cross over it. So I don't blame them. They don't like to get their little hoofs dirty, and that's good, because you don't want to get any like hoof rot or anything like that. If they're in a lot of wet soiled areas, it can cause some hoof damage. So yeah, that's about it. I mean, We're really doing a lot of really fun, cool, exciting things here on the farm, and we're gonna have some really amazing little babies here soon, and I can't wait to see Pebble's little baby. I know she's gonna have a little white baby again, but we're hoping for a doeling this time. That would be really exciting. We've had a lot of bucklings. So far we are four bucklings and 1 doeling born on the farm. So yeah, I'm just really hoping and praying that she has a little doeling just to kind of change it up a little bit, but I doubt she'll have 2. Do you think that Pebbles is gonna have 1 or 2? I doubt she would have to. If she's gonna have 3, that would be a complete miracle, but I seriously doubt that. I'm doubting she's even gonna have 2. And do you think that she is gonna have a little buckling, or is she gonna have a doeling? So leave it down in the comments below what you guys think that she's gonna have. I'd love to hear your ideas on that, especially my seasoned goat people out there. I'm kind of curious to know what you guys might think, but even for you that don't know much about goats, and just give me a guess what you think she's gonna do. She's over here hiding. I'll kind of show her back to you again. This is the one last look. They keep on hiding behind the chair, which is so funny, but give you a back. She's not very wide. She is not wide at all. So, hi pretty girl. 1, 2, male or female? That's gonna be interesting. And then once Ruby's a little further along, we'll see what she's gonna do. We'll get to that when the time comes, but for now, I'll leave you with this